afternoon and green evening to everybody world over, wherever you are. We extend a very warm welcome, and it's Wednesday. Wednesday is beautiful. It's a Lord Ganesha's day. And the best part is it is 1st of September. What's so important about 1st of September? Well, we will do the unveiling in a little while, but let me first of all get everybody on board with us, making education and skills relevant. And here it is. Yes. Balkrishan ji, Om Namo Shivaya. You're the first this evening along with the others. So hearty welcome to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, we extend a very warm welcome today on 1st of September because 5th of September is India's Teachers' Day, and also next to my heart because I breathe tourism, I think tourism, I sleep tourism, I get up tourism, I walk tourism, I talk tourism, tourism. And of course, there's an education, there's skills, everything, services. When we talk about services sector, great role of our chamber because service sector is contributing almost 60% to India's economy today. World over, when you have agriculture sector, manufacturing sector, and services sector. And today's subject is very, very important. This today belongs to someone, tomorrow belongs to someone. कल, आज और कल, एक कल गुजर गया, एक आज है और एक कल आएगा. Wow, what a combination. Raj Kapoor ji, you made a wonderful movie. So आज और कल के बारे में, आने वाले कल के बारे में जब हम बातचीत करते हैं, who is important? Youth. Who are the youth? Young minds. Wow, they are world over and they are bubbling with energy. They need synergy. With whom? Educators, teachers, trainers, skill providers, trainers, positive people, positive energy. And this evening is so wonderful that on 1st of September, the first day of September, where India is going to celebrate on coming Sunday, India's Teachers' Day, I have got two wonderful teachers. My teachers, they're wonderful teachers. When I say my teachers, because they're my family. And I have got Madam Chanchala Yalamanchi. She is Harvard certified school leader. I've got a great respect for her. She brought a lot of dignitaries from time to time, and during the corona, if anybody has given you a hand holding, just a haath badhaya, that person is true. She was kind enough, and she had done a couple of programs during this challenging time for empowering youth, empowering teachers, empowering everybody, whatsoever we could do the best possible way. And we have got this evening another very distinguished lady, Madam Sunita Fadis ma'am. She is the senior education consultant. When I say consultant, I will feel she's a strategist. She's going to give the roadmap. She's going to give us lots of acumen. So let's shake up your cerebrum. Let's get on to the mood and let's move ahead and let's ignite all the young minds world over. Today and this week is also very important for all of us. It's National Nutrition Week. Nutrition Week is observed every year from 1st to 7th of September. Theme of the year 2021 during this pandemic, it's feeding smart right from the start. Primary goal of the Nutrition Week is to increase public awareness about nutrition. So, in a very, very nutrition way, with these two ladies, let's overcome the lockdown. Let's pray to Almighty, no third wave. People had lots of challenges. Our thoughts got impacted. Our business got affected. Our physical and mental health got affected. And the main part of the universe, 1.65 billion children. When I spoke to Mr. Eric Falter, the director of the UNESCO, right from the Paris, he told Gulshan, we are having challenges with 1.65 billion children. That's what we are talking about, 25th March 2020. Our chamber extends you a very warm welcome. Like doctors, nurses, paramedical people, they were doing great job during this pandemic. We took a pledge and we just thought of it. Why not to focus on education and skills during this pandemic? Our chamber, before this pandemic, we were focusing on services sector, 12 sectors were identified by Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Government of India. We also, because we deal with NRIs, non-resident Indians world over, Indian diaspora, and there are 31 million people. So 27 years have passed and we are having a confluence of NRIs every year. And if you recall, Honorable Prime Minister, we started in 1994 and in 2003, it was converted to Bharatiya Pravasi Divas. So our chamber is very happy. Before I moved in over here and took over the charge in 1994, I used to be before in an army, but thereafter Ministry of Tourism, Government of India in Delhi. And this is something which I always remember because God had been extra kind to me. And God gave me the synergy and the energy with my colleagues. We set up India's first travel and tourism institute for the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India. There was no institute of the ministry before that. And also it's a privilege in a very humble way. With our team, we started India's first MBA tourism program. I'm talking about way back 1990. And I'm also very happy because I served the armed forces, the green uniform. So with the help of the Adjutant General, that time, Lieutenant General K.M. Seth, we set up India's first Army Hotel Management and Catering Technology Institute in Bangalore. So during the pandemic, ladies and gentlemen, we took a pledge on 3 words, making education relevant. Right from 25th March 2020, complete lockdown, and only one agenda we took, let's empower teachers and youth with the help of technology. Our patron, based out of California, all the support coming from Professor Satyendra Dhiman, all the way from the Woodbury University. I'm thankful to our president, based out of Thailand at present. And of course, Malaysia, we got Datu Ramesh Kodamalji. Cambodia, I'm so grateful to all the people, all the dignitaries, and particularly Sandeep Majumdarji, who had been very, very kind. And when I think about Singapore, our chamber's chairman for the water management strategy, Mr. Anil Manocha. World Tourism Day, 27th September, we'll be celebrating this year also. So last year, it was a virtual one, and we had a wonderful deliberation. Then we went to Sweden, all the way e-Gurukul we talked about. This is Eric Falt, and along with him, Mr. Omar, and we had a wonderful global educators empowerment. And that was done on the World Teachers Day. That's coming on 5th of October. 5th September is India's Teacher Day, and 5th October 2020 is the World Teachers Day. We are going to get about 1,000 educators together on a common platform. Ladies and gentlemen, thereafter we moved on Ayurveda for the global wellness. We have been getting eminent speakers. We have completed almost 70 webinars in this series. Every Sunday, 8 p.m. with NRIs, we go across to the world, Canada, USA, UK, European Union, Australia, all the places wherever it is possible. And we try and bring the webinars to you with the help of our non-resident Indian diaspora. During this pandemic, we got lots of time to restore, understand India's civilization, oldest civilization, the art, the craft, the heritage. And we did the complete case study of Nalanda, how Nalanda University was functional, what was Takshila, that was wonderful. Then we moved to, because people require mental wellness, physical wellness, children, teachers, educators, trainers, counselors, everybody needs wellness. So we had almost about 100 webinars with Wellness Sector Skill Council of Government of India, but you need happiness also. You need music also, dance also. So we brought the Sector Skill Council of Media Entertainment, and we did about another 100 webinars with Media Entertainment Sector Skill Council. But you need pocket money. You need entrepreneurship. You need startup. You need employment. So we had gone to another Sector Skill Council under Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise, along with our chairman, Mr. Rabindranathji, and we worked out with the Sector Skill Council on entrepreneurship, the journey. Thereafter, we went to Tata Consultancy Services. 5th September last year, Teachers Day 2020, it was a big celebrations, all the teachers together. Then we started Buddhism series. Then we had gone to Vivekananda series, because what can be done in education with the ethos and the philosophy of these great souls. And then, of course, a lot of teachers, a lot of principals, a lot of educators, how India got freedom. We did another series on Mahan Swatantrata Senani Lala Lajpat Rai ji, and that was with Dr. Arun Mehra. Honorable Finance Minister of India on 1st February, she gave a lot of pumping to the education sector, 9.5% increase in the budget. And that day she announced 100 additional scenic schools to be set up in India. She announced on 1st of February, and 2nd of February, we started for all of us 31 webinars we have done how to set up scenic school in the PPP mode. Thereafter, I'm grateful once again to Chanchala ma'am. We got dignitaries together, everybody, and there was an International Women Day on 8th of March 2021. Vasant Panchami, Vidya hi sabse bada dhan hai. And that is the day to the goddess, Saraswati. We talked about, we enjoyed, and everything that day. This was another very powerful program, World Youth Skills Day. That's the 15th of July every year being celebrated. We got Professor Dr. Jagdish N. Sheth, who got a very special award from the Honorable Prime Minister of India. And along with him, when he was joining us from USA, we got Anil Sastra-Buddheji, the chairman of the AICT, Dr. N.S. Kalsi, the chairman of the National Council for Vocational Education, and of course, our advisor for the chamber, Professor Natarajan from Texas. And ladies and gentlemen, we have been moving vocal for local, and that is the role of micro, small, and the medium enterprise. 25th March 2020. Till date, only one agenda, teachers and youth empowerment by various activities, whatever we can do. And our chamber has done a lot of research. This triangle is not for family planning, it's for global management. This triangle, when we talk about, education is incomplete without skills, and education and skills, they are not going to do justice with us unless we have entrepreneurship or employment. Women empowerment is very important. Vocational education is very important. Technology is very important. Then only India can become Atmanirbhar Bharat, and teachers and youth empowerment. Shiksha, Kaushalta, and Udmita. That is the action plan of our chamber. We are proud to share with all of you that way back in 1994, we set up India's first finishing school for service industry. When we talk about communication, when we talk about personality enhancement, creativity, curiosity, collaboration, all that we discussed, and we have been telling, here I'm addressing 5,000 youth together on a common platform. All power is within you, not my words, Swami Vivekananda ji. This is teacher empowerment program in Sikkim by our chamber. And we strongly believe in our education. Why don't we bring music? Why don't we bring dances? Why don't we bring gamification, happiness, humor, fun, creativity, curiosity, storytelling, stimulation, following passion, talent exhibiting, stress-free, technology-based, vocational and skill-based, outdoor activities, and nature-based, prakriti ke saath rehna hai. Now, we want to revive the economy because, as I told you, I sleep tourism and I get up tourism. We want to revive tourism. We want to help tourism. We want, because 5 crore people, the travel agents and tour operator, tourist transporter, tourist excursionists, they have come on the Mother Earth grounds, no jobs, no income. Anyway, film industry also, media entertainment industry having lots of challenges. So we have done film tourism destination for the entire Northeast together. And we have done the whole packaging. Can you believe it? Yesterday only we finished with the last webinar, 31st August with Sikkim. Arunachal, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Assam, Tripura, Manipur, Mizoram, Sikkim, all the 8 states. And now we are doing a series on golf tourism, holiday and leisure tourism, how we can generate employment. 5th of September is a very, very important day. And that's a Teachers' Day for India. We are getting dignitaries all the way from United States, and also director of the Knitter from India. He would be joining re-envisioning higher education for the 21st century. How it's going to be. That we are going to discuss at 8 p.m. on coming Sunday. So Our team, which has done research, compilation, synthesis in 149 countries, B2B, back to basics of life, basic food, basic health, basic education. Ladies and gentlemen, let's come together. Whatever human mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Let's make education and skills, and with that, MSME relevant. Because I don't want to call it only making education and skills relevant. No, no, no. Unless you don't create jobs, this youth, they are asset, but at the same time, they are dash, dash, dash if you do not channelize them strategically. So with these words, let me extend a very warm welcome to two of the distinguished guests. Join me in extending a very warm welcome to the both ladies, that is Chanchala Yalamanchi ma'am and Sunita Fatnes ma'am. We extend them a very, very warm welcome. And I would request Chanchala ma'am to set the tone, and thereafter we invite Sunita ma'am, and thereafter we will move in the journey. Hearty welcome to both of you. Namaskar to both of you. Tell me in Telugu also today, what do we tell namaskar in Telugu?
Namaskaram.
Namaskaram. Namaskaram. Namaskaram. Okay, right, great. Hearty welcome.
Thank you, Gulshan sir. That was a real great start. Thank you for providing me the platform and believing in me for taking this journey forward. Yes, youth empowerment, skill enrichment are these two terms which are ringing bells every day in our news channels and everywhere. And I say, yes, it's a time for us to redefine education. Yes, NEP has set the platform, but when we say about igniting minds, it reminds me, it actually always reminds me of the book Ignited Minds by Dr. Abdul J. Kalam. If you look at this book, it speaks about visionary teachers, it speaks about scientists learning from the saints and seers, and then the patriotism. Then it also speaks about the knowledge the society has and the way forward. Very truly said, whenever I hear the speeches of Dr. Kalam, I always feel strengthened because he says that the strength and the future lies in the hands of youth. And then the secret behind igniting these minds is releasing the locked potential which is there within them. Yes, it is clearly education which can unlock this potential. Yes, it is the education which can, in his own words, we can say, give wings of fire to fly. It is to ensure the growth of country's economy, which is dwindling. I think education has to play a very important role. And this is where education that NEP is promising and bringing forth the change is huge. And all my thanks and salutes to Dr. K. Kasturi Rangan for actually starting this initiative and bringing in a change which is promising the world that India is there. India is there with a vision of bringing in competency-based education rather than textual content. Yes, skill was something which was always there. If we look back into our ancient mythology or ancient history of India, there was never a dearth of skill. There was never a dearth for people who were successful, who have led world in various different platforms. And this was possible through the right teachers, through the right ignition. I was recently going through something which was exciting to me. I wanted to know about how Panchatantra was created. So when I was reading the story, that I felt he was the right teacher, because when the king was blessed with kids and he was looking for a right place because these prince were not talented. They were looking, searching for a talent through different educators. And then storytelling was one key which has triggered this true learning. So we don't know what holds the key for the right ignitement of the skill of the empowerment. So it is very essential for the teachers to look into NEP and change their traditional teaching methodology. It's more about the preparedness of teachers. It is more about inspirations that the students get. It's about the practical knowledge that we are giving, opening the four walls of the classroom, taking them into the nature learning, taking them, because when I do this with most of my parents, where I question them in front of the students that what's the color of a leaf, and everybody says it's green. This is what education has done to us. It has programmed us. It has not ignited us. It has not given us the skills to say, yes, there are skills in all, there are leaves in all colors. Yes, why don't we say that leaves are there in all colors? Why is it always A for apple? Why is it not anything else? There are bundle of words around A. Because even if a child wants to do this, there is always a system which holds them back. So yes, give them that wings of fire, which takes them to places, which sets them moving forward in this world. And then I would say, when we look at the employability, when we speak about so much, and there is serious threat where our employability percentage is just coming down because the education is not relevant to employability. We all speak about 21st century skills. There's a lot that has been happening for years, but where are we? How are we enriching our students and the skills? Where is that radiance that teachers emit, the radiant knowledge? Where are our teachers in igniting the minds, building the confidence, thinking beyond, and creating things? Where is the innovation that India always had? Where is the multitasking function that we were doing? So all this really sets us thinking that yes, there is a need for skill enrichment. There is a need for ignition that is required. It is that point of ignition that can make students create wonders. Yes, and I feel honored today sharing this platform with my teacher and my philosopher and guide, Sunita ma'am. Welcome on board. And it's a great honor to share the same platform with you. I mean, I don't have words to express my pleasure and happiness in sharing this platform with you. Yes, education and igniting minds is something which, as a teacher, I feel that yes, we should. Being my own experiences and taking the journey forward, I'll be sharing all those with you all. But I would first request Sunita ma'am to just throw some light onto this, the skill sets that are required, the mindset that is required. But before I leave on the platform to Sunita ma'am, one quotation from the Greek mythology, which really I always loved, and which was also rendered by Dr. Abdul Kalam ji in one of his speeches, that when there is righteousness in the heart, there is beauty in the character. When there is beauty in the character, there is harmony in the home. When there is harmony in home, there is peace in the nation. when there is peace in the nation, there's peace in the world. We're all speaking about gratitude and hope, which is the present day need due to COVID. And I think this is the right form of education that we are all talking about. Yes, over to Sunita ma'am. Please enlighten us with the skill sets that are required and what you feel are really important.
Namaste, everyone, and hello. Chanchula, that was indeed very, very poetic. You're talking about character, you're talking about peace in the house and peace in the nation. But most importantly, what you mentioned was ignition. As a teacher of science, I would want my children to ask questions like, how do you, they're so used to a car which runs on either diesel or petrol, there's an ignition key, there's an ignition point. In science, we have something called as the ignition temperature. Nothing catches fire unless and until it reaches the ignition temperature. I feel ignition temperature for India, I would consider it as the NEP 2020, the unabridged version of 465 pages. I must have read it a number of times, but what I also feel, there has been a lot of research, a lot of work done by the NEP envisioners, whether it is Dr. Kasturi Rangan, Dr. Ramchandran, or Dr. M.K. Sridhar, at all levels. They have first and foremost very clearly said, listen, skill is a part of education. As you mentioned, it is not just knowledge, concepts, skill. I think one more set of policy documents will have to come out where they'll say, listen, knowledge and skill is but a part of education, but there's something called values and attitudes. To me, that is the crux of education. So when we talk here, I love the way Dr. Gulshan was speaking. He said, it is the youth of India who are going to change the country. Agreed, absolutely 150%. Because I believe every individual is born with a curiosity to learn. To me, the biggest learning skill set which this 21st, 22nd century will require would be learning to learn. Learning forever. There is going to be no end, because as per a lot of work which has been done by OECD or by the World Education Forum or our educationists envisioning the entire future of India, we know very well that there is a disruption. There's a disruption which is called as the fourth industrial revolution by Klaus Schwab. He's written a beautiful book called as the fourth industrial revolution. I was reading that. And I think a lot of it has been sort of condensed. Wisdom has been condensed in this book. It has been condensed in the documents which UNESCO, UNICEF, NEP, OECD, the Australian education department, everybody has brought it out. They're very clear in saying, listen, they're shocking statistics. I mean, it really rattles me. I don't know how, I'm not a maths person. So when you say 250 million children, I wonder how many zeros are there? That is something that across the world, even before COVID hit, had dropped out of school probably. Another shocking, very, very shocking and heart-rendering statistic which they come up with is 825 million children across the globe will have skill deficits. I mean, just imagine, we are talking on the one side that technology is enabling, where classes are now being held online. You have exams being held, proctored online. Entire machinery, nanotechnology has come. So you have technology per se, you have technology in education, you have technology in science, you have technology in farming. Everywhere it has come. But my question is, this technology is also going to create a greater divide. The inequality. Tomorrow there's a beautiful topic about equity. I think technology, while it enables, at the same time has also rendered inequalities more sharply. People, whether it is the socio-economic, whatever, in this changing world. Earlier, we didn't know about mobile phones. Now the mobile phones, you put a Bluetooth and you can listen to anybody. I mean, for heaven's sake. Earlier, if you wanted to listen to songs, There was nothing called Spotify. Am I right? And today, everything is on a digital platform, whether it is learning, whether it is the farmer gets news of the rates, the farmer is able to do a soil analysis, put it in and it completely gets done. Every sector of life has been touched by digitization. And this digitization, automation, on the one end is going to create a lot of benefits, but also a whole lot of it will go. UNICEF has beautifully compiled it. I'm going to just mention about the 4 areas of skills which they have talked and specified. First and foremost, they talk about the foundational skills. And these foundational skills are for those tiny dots, right? Literacy and numeracy, ability to read and write. Can you believe in India, we have still about 50% or more than that children who cannot read and write at that age. In Karnataka alone, I can tell you that when they did a study, a 5th standard child could not read a single sentence. I'm not talking in English. I'm saying in their mother tongue, Kannada itself, they were not able to read. There are children, if you go and check out the national education statistics, there are children in grade 7 who are unable to do 3-digit addition, subtraction, division, or multiplication. These are all skills. So when we talk of skills, the first thing that hits us is, listen, ability to drive is a skill. Ability to cook is a skill. Or for that matter, we talk of ability to speak, become an orator is a skill. But fortunately or unfortunately, every academic subject has skills. And to me, that is important.
I didn't understand that.
We're talking about a whole lot of those. And that is, what are these skills? Foundational skills is the first stage. Second is the digital skills. Digital skills in how to manage information. Information is available everywhere. Am I able to get the information, sort of analyze it, put it in order, make sense out of it and apply it? That is the second set of skills they speak. Third set of skills are very close to my heart, and those are the transferable skills or the life skills, which they call. And when they're talking about this 2030 skill deficit gap, they're talking very clearly that the skill deficit will be in the transferable skills, in the digital skills, and in the job specific skills. They're saying that knowledge will come in. If somebody can read, they will understand. So what is the transferable skill we are talking about? We're talking about probably how to communicate, ability to, four things which come to my mind. Jack Dollars, again, has given it in a beautiful book, Learning the Treasure Within. In that, he talks of 4 learnings. The first learning is learning to know. Those are the concepts, the knowledge, all the information that you would like to have. Then the second he talks about is learning to do. Basically, I should be able to, that is the employability. Whatever I do, can I apply? You said, why should leaves be green? Leaves should be green because assembly line production, everywhere leaves are supposed to be green. Nobody tells them that they can be brown. They are, orange, or they can be red or brown or whatever, because we have not told our children to be curious and imaginative. Maybe some children will come up and say, why can't a leaf be black at some point of time? If it has got fungus, yeah, it could be black as well. So creativity is that unique ability to observe something, tap it and take it forward. They're talking about that. They're talking about decision-making, problem solving. But apart from all this, some of the things which I thought very important for us would be hope, how to, be hopeful of the future and set a goal, how to be empathetic, how to be resilient, how to be aware of who I am. We all talk about, ability to know our strengths. I was in a discussion with one of the students where they're saying that, listen, you want to bring in the vocational component into grade 9 to 12. NEP says that every school should look at introducing one vocational component. It could be gardening, cooking, baking. It could be AI. It could be anything, app development. It could be carpentry, pottery, whatever. My question is, how will a school be able to pick up one particular skill and get it done? Where will they find the teachers? And what I liked about NEP, because I'm combining everything, I thought they said something beautiful. They said, tap into the local vidya. Loka vidya is a beautiful term they have taken when it comes to, bringing in skills. They say, integrate skills into the curriculum. No longer are we saying that, listen, co-scholastic, okay, one period of AI and I have done my bit towards, skill empowerment in my students. That's not it. What they're saying is, hey, listen, can you bring it into your curriculum itself? As a science teacher, I always would talk to my students about process skills. And many of my colleagues were like, what are you talking about? What is this process skill in science? Now, process skill is very clear. How do I observe? How do I generalize? How do I infer? How am I going to measure? All these were process skills for me in science. Similarly, every subject has. Could be curiosity, imagination, creative thinking, judgment, decision making, empathy, cultural diversity, respect for all of that. All of it has come. Forbes has put, NEP has put something equally beautiful. They call it a scientific temper, which is a bundle of critical thinking, creative thinking, problem solving, all of it. But most important, they've also said ethical and moral reasoning. Very, very important for both teachers, parents, society, in general. And why are we talking about this? Because we have this beautiful thing which Ken Robinson talks about, and it's something called as me culture, right? Individualism has become so important. I am important. We thought of education as service. We thought of education as an ideal, but today we are linking education with employability. In my entire journey, I would always look at teachers when I was interviewing them. I didn't know what to ask them. I would only ask them, what would you do in a classroom? A simple question. And they would be so flabbergasted. They would say, I will teach, of course. I said, then I'll have to reject you because nobody wants to hear you teach. I want you to facilitate. So that is collaboration, right? Collaboration, teamwork. And I find it very funny. The minute you say collaboration, a teacher puts two children together and says, hey, now both of you do pair work. That is collaboration. Collaboration, again, is cooperative collaboration. Why don't I go and collaborate with a bank? Ask a child to collaborate with a grandmother. Ask a child to collaborate, with a research institute. Let them go and learn. Go to a farm and understand from that farmer what he is doing, or go to a textile dyeing place which is happening, or even a grocer, or a retail person to understand what's going on. To me, that is collaborative learning, where they go out into the world. That is again problem solving, real life. But ethical and moral reasoning is all about peace, nonviolence, service. It is about compassion. It is about patience, temperance, gratitude. To me, if you look at it, when you look at the Forbes, 500 Fortune companies, what are the things they're looking at? I mean, they're talking about, can you communicate? But they also say, can you express yourself? Aesthetic appreciation of things around, the joy in music, that rhythm. Yeah, you should be able to tap your feet when you hear lovely music. Are you able to listen to the beats on a drum and sort of find joy in it? Are you able to look at a painting and say, my God, beautiful? Can you stand quietly in nature, look at a sunset and say, beautiful sky? What a, conglomeration of, amalgamation of colors. Can we do that? Teaching them that. But I think another thing in this rat race that we haven't taught our children, even leaders, I would say, would be ability to manage our own emotions. That emotional, these are all the transferable skills. How do I manage my emotions? How do I manage stress? COVID has brought so much. What am I going to do with that? But for that, you require good leadership. And as a leader, everyone is a leader. So can we find leaders in the youth, teach them innovation, entrepreneurship, ability to influence? That circle of influence is beautiful. It starts with me, goes to my family, goes to the community I'm in, the school, and the world beyond. So I would say the skills would have to be very important skills. Retain my rootedness wherever I am, from whichever country I belong to. Could be India, could be Canada, Australia, US, UK, Bhutan, wherever. And yet understand what's happening in the country. I was just visualizing. How many of us use visualization as a tool? Ability to imagine, visualize, and that gives you so much power. And today's child needs that. As teachers, probably, people may not find it very appropriate, but I think if you're responsible for 40 children in a class, please make an effort to understand those 40 children. How do they learn? what makes them tick. Somebody may like football. I'm not saying find the chemistry of football, but allow the child that space to find who he or she is. Or if you have a painter in your midst and they go to sleep in the math class, don't berate them. Please find out what they like. Can you use the painting or the artistic component into math? There is symmetry in math. Can you link it with that? Or if you have this, daydreamer who could be a future poet, and that poet finds the history boring. He says, dates don't matter to me, but I would rather think about what's going on. Maybe that child can be used somewhere. Drama, art, music, beautiful tools. But more than that, a willingness to understand two more aspects, learning to be, who am I going to be at the end of the day, and learning together, to live together with people. How do I become a part of the community? Be a, they use the word civic awareness or citizenship. So being a good citizen, I am responsible not only for myself, but for the world around me. What do I do about that? A whole lot of things have gone out of play now. Most of the time it is learn 2 + 2 = 4, or learn this poem, or learn how to balance equations, or learn how to do a math problem. But come on, even without that, there's a lot more they can do. And that is the skill. So ability, agility, adaptability. Can I be an agile learner? Use technology, move ahead. And for that, those are the skill set we are looking at, the cognitive flexibility, ability to go ahead and get things done. I think these are the major skill sets that have come. And always skill and competency are, people believe are synonyms. They're interchangeable, not really. Skill is one part. You have competency would involve knowledge, ability, attitudes, as well as, that is where it is. So if you are going to be, let's identify the skills and then how do we make them competent, make them go ahead. I think those are the things that we should look at, Chanchala. Probably you should go ahead and share with people successful case studies which you have come across. I'll just start with one simple thing which we did way, way back. I'm talking about, I think I should be able to look at it and talk what I have done. When I was a chemistry teacher, I had this class full of children who were dyslexic, everything possible. They were learning challenged. Beautiful children, absolutely top class when it came to wanting to learn. And as a chemistry teacher, I had to deal with numbers. They hated it. I had a child, Rupa, she was a national level basketball player. She would sit in my class and sleep. The first part of me was very angry as a teacher. I said, my God, how could she sleep? But then I realized the child would get up at 4 o'clock, go for practice, then come to school, and later again go for practice. So basically, she was sleeping probably 4-5 hours. I never understood that. And so finally, we both decided, her mother was my mentor. She helped me. She said, why don't you teach her chemistry on the basketball court? 40-50 minutes of practice, 1.5 hours. So I still remember every, symbol that she had to know for elements, it was a basketball. So I would pass the ball to her, ask a question. While she was basketing, she would give me the answer back. So that was the kind of learning we had. Learning, now I think it was learning through play. That is a technical term, but to me it was learning for her. I had to make her learn something else. I have had children go to the prison to understand what empathy is. When you talk to a prisoner in a prison, you understand the struggle of life. I have had children, teachers, in fact. When I use the word children, they've all been teachers also with me. I have asked them to go and observe. In Bangalore, we had this where I said, go and observe the museum. We have the Vishweshwaraya Technological Museum. And there was absolutely objective, nothing. I said, just go and observe, come back and tell me what you found interesting. They said, one whole day, that's all you want us to do? I said, yeah, keep a log. Right from the minute you start your journey, getting onto the bus and when till you get off and come back to the institute, tell me what you learned. We were all shocked. My colleagues were like, Sunita ma'am, no objective, no worksheets, no plan of action. I said, you just leave it, let them come back. I don't know what happened. Most of the children went there and the reflection part of their learning started from, ma'am, we did not know the travel cost from RT Nagar to MG Road in Bangalore. It started with that. And for them, it was like, we got onto the bus and we saw so many people standing and they were so loud. How can people be so loud in a bus? And it was finally, it came to, we saw so many models. I like this, I like that. I understood this, I understood. And one girl who was responsible for getting the lunch, she said, you know what I understood? I went to their canteen and looked at their menu. And I found that, I don't know how they made so many things. They had a sandwich or they had, chitrana, whatever, some 10 dishes. There was only one person making it. And how did he know how many visitors would come on a day? How did he know that they would go to the canteen? How did he know how much to make? I said, yeah, great. Now I said, now you tell me the learning. So, all the learning theories which we were trying to cram into their head happened in. I think that is skill which we want our teachers to have. Over to you. I think, Chanchal, you can go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. I would say.
Sorry for the interruption. I'm sorry.
No.
People are joining us from Canada, and there's a person who has got 15 minutes to a coffee break, and he says, I have to get back to the work. I have got one question. Absolutely. And he's from Toronto, Mr. Vikas Malhotra. He's writing, please allow me to ask a question to the distinguished speakers. What are your views about practical learning and education? Practical learning and education. Why do teachers speak very less about it? And what do you think are your views? So before he goes back, I thought I can just take the question. Both of you, anybody can take.
Absolutely, sir.
Yeah.
I would say first, amazing question, because this is the question I have asked every teacher during their interview. How will you make it happening? How will you make the child realize the knowledge that he has to experience the knowledge? Because experiencing knowledge will make the knowledge forever. So I would say taking the student to the knowledge center might not be every time possible, but when it comes to real life learning, like Sunita ma'am said, and I have also experienced, like I had taken my students to a Gaushala. And this is the worst place the kids want to venture out into. And this is where there was big objection by the students. I was doing science crop production, and then it was all about animal husbandry and everything. So I took them to the Gaushala. Initially, they said, ma'am, we don't want to even enter. I said, no, you have to enter. Let's go. Let's see. Just stay for 10 minutes and then we'll be back. But then when the journey started, they saw the breeds of the animal. They saw the child care, the veterinary care that the animals were getting, the fodder that was how it is preserved, how much is done. And then I did one small calculation, because these were students with a lot of mathematical background. They understood math like anything, and it was all revolving around the economics of animal husbandry. So I said, you buy 1 liter of milk and ask the veterinary doctor or the person who is taking care of the cow, how many liters in a day does the cow give you? So they shared. I said, now calculate per day what is the income that the cow is generating and compare it to the cost of the fodder and other things. So that ignited the minds, that set the ball rolling, where I had to call the school and inform the other teachers, I'm getting delayed. I'll take 2 hours more in this dairy farm. And then in that complete set of students, now I have 2 students who have taken up agricultural BSc and they're pursuing their career. So this is what I would say, practically taking them, enabling them with skills. It is just the ignition that is required. Sunita ma'am, on to you.
Right. Sir, a beautiful question. You have asked the importance of practical teaching. We have technical terms for it called active learning or experiential learning, right? Use the word experience. Now, practical for me, it is practical teaching or learning calls for a lot of confidence in a teacher. The teacher should be able to manage the learning of the children because it's not a scripted teaching learning situation. Otherwise, what we do as teachers, we write these lesson plans and we're very clear, 15 minutes on that, 10 on this. This is what I will cover, this drawing, this picture, this formula, this, and we finish. When you're talking about real life learning or practical learning, where is the script? The script is going to be written by the children. And it hurts my ego. I am letting go of my power, right? In a classroom, there is so much of power. As a teacher, if I am the person who is teaching, I have all the control. So as a teacher, you want me to give away the control, give away the power, give away the superiority, the tag of being the expert. That scares me. And secondly, there's something as bhaga dodi karo, finish the syllabus. Actually, we are killing, murdering the syllabus. The syllabus, the textbook says 20 pages on X, Y, Z, and we do that. So who is interested in how much the child remembers? The assessment part, which comes, is not practical. We are still talking about, assessment, which is based on memory. We are talking still a little bit, now it has moved. Maybe we are talking of competencies. When the system does not demand me to be sharing my application or my understanding, but only asks me to produce facts and knowledge and concepts and theories, put it down, maybe a little bit more application at the lowest level, but it does not ask me to be creative, right? It does not, nobody says, imagine, put yourself in Albert Einstein's shoes and think about when he said E is equal to mc squared. How do you think he would have come to that derivation? Or nobody asks them to go back and think of Shakespeare. What would have been the social condition existing when Shakespeare wrote his plays? Or nobody says, imagine you were Gandhiji. What would he have felt about the Jallianwala Bagh massacre? Nobody reads Harijan, nobody is reading Young India, they don't know. And that calls for a lot of flexibility even among the teacher. That's what I said, agility, resilience, ability to let go. Practical teaching learning demands this ability to let go. And most fundamental, it negates this, terrible fact that children come to us knowing nothing. Children are empty vessels who come to us with, and we are supposed to put all that knowledge into their head. It negates that belief. And how many of us want to do it? We have never experienced it, very few of us. And you suddenly want me to become, which I have never experienced. How much ever you train me, till I believe, develop that mindset, I won't do it. So the fear of becoming redundant, fear of becoming less of a person, fear of the classroom ambience changing, fear of more questions because I don't know all the answers. So my ability to say I don't know is something else I can't do normally. So when difficult questions come, how can I tell them I don't know? You see, because I'm the expert. All these fears will stop us. And second, also sometimes it could be the cost, the planning, the infrastructure, and the willingness of an institution, leadership to allow this to happen. Sometimes the time may not be enough. All these are constraints. But the world is getting there slowly. And as parents, I think every parent should be ready for this revolution. It's not just the school. It's an entire mindset in a nation. Even today, children say, I'm surprised. You have technology and there are children writing notes. Even with your online classes, what are you getting out of it? These copious notes. Why do they have to make notes? For heaven's sake, send them something, ask them to read. If they have to do notes, then let them do it in their own way. It's as simple as that. There's no precedent. It's the unknown that bogs us down, nothing else. But yes, as Chanchala said, if we do it, everybody is a winner. Nobody realizes that. The teacher, the parent, the child, the school, the society, everybody wins. But yeah, there are too many barriers you have to break, social, emotional, intellectual, all kinds. And till we don't break that, it won't happen. I think we hope we have answered your question within your break. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Vikasji, I hope it has been answered. Thank you very much. And he's endorsing. Ladies, thank you very much for answering my question. But he's still very curious. He says this is very interesting. Can practical knowledge or experience be included in our school or college life? That's what, the further extension. Okay.
It's
Please go ahead.
very easy. Sir, the textbooks have to change. Policy has changed. The textbooks have to change. But
yes.
Classrooms have to change.
Yes. Yes.
It's a huge enabler in this. If only we could realize the power of technology.
And he's bringing practical example of Elon Musk, failed in academics, but he only focused on practical learning of life.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. Please go ahead. Yeah.
I would also say, Mr. Vikas, it's also about changing our mindset as parents too. Accepting the change of practical education requires real revolutionary change. Yes, sir. So taking this ignition.
Those views are also coming from London, Mr. Vimal. He says extremely powerful session. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Yes, taking this forward, igniting the young minds when the topic is there. I feel like I was reading a lot of articles on this, and one thing that really hit me hard, and I was really enthused to share that story with you all, was the Flame Challenge. The Flame Challenge by Alan Natta. He is an actor and a producer from Hollywood. When he was a child, how he started the whole Flame Challenge was when he was 11 years old. He went to a teacher and asked, "What is flame? And what is going on there?" And the teacher gave the answer in one word: it is combustion. The child was not happy. The child was not happy with the answer, because this is just a process or a scientific term that you have told: flame, combustion. So this one incident has made Alan think about how to ignite the curiosity among students. And he started when he achieved success, and he was thinking about, so this one incident kept the whole floor rolling. And he started this Flame Challenge, where he's associated with a set of schools where these students write questions. There are no boundaries to the type of question that they can ask. They can ask, why is blue blue? My blue is same as your blue. Or what the scientists believe is blue. So something, why is the rainbow only in these 7 colors? Any question under the sky these kids can ask. And then there are 5 set of questions which are picked, and they're given to the scientists who are competing in the contest. And these scientists write their answers, and they're again reviewed by a set of students in giving the award. So this is, I would say this is something very inspiring, because yes, we speak about critical thinking, we speak about analytical skills, we speak about critical thinking, we speak about innovation, we speak about reasoning. Everything is compact. As students, when I'm creating questions is amazing. It's not easy. And understanding the concept that is being written by a scientist, and the child who relates the answers that the children can relate to are given this award. So amazing, amazing. I would say it is one thing where he is igniting curiosity. He is igniting curiosity, just not in students, but also in the scientists to be able to answer simple queries which are posed by the students. And the other program that like Sunita ma'am has told during the skill sets is one of her students being taken to the basketball court and being taught what is actually happening. And because that is the area of interest. UNICEF had started this child-friendly school things in Jammu Kashmir. There were two places. There was a government school in Kospora and Rawatpura. So in these schools, when I was reading the case study of these schools, it was really good because UNICEF has created learning through sport. Kids were not eager to come to school, but now the enrollment has increased so much because there is, UNICEF did identify what kids want, how teachers have to be groomed, because one of the teachers in the testimonial says that, ma'am, I have been groomed when I was doing B.Ed, I was groomed for writing lesson plans. And here I have been groomed for implementing the true practical knowledge through experiential education, through activities. They were exposed to plethora of activities. So the concept behind this was these students were very high on energy when they start the day with the play they want. So we don't know that play or anything that they love can be the point of ignition for achieving something bigger. So I think it is for us to bring in the change. And when I, as a teacher, I was just sharing it with Sunita ma'am too, that we had recently our Janmashtami celebrations, and usually schools do it as there'll be a bhajan, life story of Krishna, and then some value components to be carried forward. I just opened my platform to my student council. I said, the floor is all yours. Please go ahead. And when I looked, because it's now online, all the more real point where we can share everything, the students took the platform rolling where there was virtual tour to Dwaraka, virtual tour to the temples, and then they also took us underwater where Dwaraka was excavated. And they spoke about the scientific elements that were involved. So speaking about history of the place, where the evidences are. So it gave a different dimension where they even also showed the digital making of the flute and the notes and other things. There was no limitation. There was freedom given to them. So I think if we have to ignite the minds, there is a demand for freedom. There is a real requisite for freedom to start the floor, to ignite the minds, for them to share everything. So I say freedom is one prerequisite that is required in the system to enable any skill, let it be life skill. Because I see when we started a program called Jnana Vinodam, there were very few kids who were coming for, but now it's virtual. It's up to them. They want to join the show or not, the class. It's there. But then we were worried. Why are they not coming? Because we were enabling, we were expanding their horizons at the same time, rooting them to getting them back to the roots. So this was something, so we don't know what ignited, but we said, okay, let's do something different that they can connect to. So this idea I got because when I was doing the reading scholastics, reading awareness, reading report of India, two elements that really ignited me was the reading report of India was really bad. And what was required was parents reading out to students as one, their kids. And somewhere when they learn how to read, we stop. And they still love the mother reading. Let them grow big and big, but they still love the parents reading out to them. That is the family connect, which is bonding them together. And the second thing is, when I speak about Swami and his friends or speak about independence of India or anything, they're not born in that era. Are we creating the platform? Are we taking back them to that era where this thing has happened? Because that is where the child gets little enthusiastic about learning things. So I think the skill sets that are required, yes, of course, it starts off from the heart. For me, learning starts from heart too. It is mind, body, and hands, but it's the heart that we forget. And I think that plays a crucial role too in igniting the students for getting into the skills that we are all talking about: enrichment, curiosity, innovation. So it is the independence, the freedom to expression. It is, yes, NEP says about differential examinations too. So eagerly waiting for the day where we speak and we do this. And yes, differential examination, difference based on the skill sets that you have. There's so many, but yes, pandemic has redefined the skill sets. It speaks about more in terms of how compassionate you are. As a leader, how compassionate you are in the leadership skills. Now, the social steadiness is also something added. Are we teaching them the climate change, which is the present planetary crisis? So the present day scenarios are the skills that are required. The present skill sets are the ones, the mindset are the ones that are required for these youth to take it forward. Because Sunita ma'am was just sharing with me, and we had a discussion about how will our youth be employed in next few years. Is just not one single employment, but they will be doing multiple jobs. They'll be doing multiple jobs. So are we preparing them for those skills which will make them have the agility to pick up the strength, the job of their choice? So yes, yes, the skill sets are various, and the ignition, the enlightenment, the process of taking the skill sets in is right when we reach out to the heart, give them the freedom, according to me. Yes, Sunita ma'am, anything that you want to add to? Because yes, people are speaking about the learning poverty. They are speaking about developing skill-oriented teachers. So there are too many things that are being told, but what do you think are the right things that the teacher?
First and foremost, I think let us start respecting the policymakers.
Yes.
I'm very, very clear on it. Everybody thinks whichever document you read, it is just somebody's imagination, right? It's not somebody's imagination. It is maybe the life work of a set of economists, scientists, teachers, bureaucrats. Everybody has come together. If you, at least if you read the list in NEP, it runs to almost 8 to 10 pages. People who have been involved in the design of this document. I can talk about NEP because I have read it. Other documents I have read, I'm not so sure how many people have contributed across the globe. But I am told for the NEP to be a concrete document, it has taken thousands of people, teachers, teacher educators, parents, it could be school leaders, everybody. Now, the policymakers have put what they found in their deliberations, in their research, they have put it on paper. Is it doable? They have never said it is doable. They are giving us a direction. It's a roadmap. Now, in this roadmap, there are other stakeholders too, right? It's not just the policymakers. They have drawn our attention to, listen, this is a problem that's going to come. May come, may not come. Be sure it will come because they're speaking from a point of view where they have studied the trends. I was just reading, if you now look at just an example, CBSE is now talking about art integrated learning. Am I right? Please go back and check when it happened in the world, drama or art. In the West, it happened in the 1960s. Okay? They took two different approaches. One was this top-down approach where they made a document and then they put down all the do's and don'ts. They went to schools, conducted their research, trained the teachers, then studied the impact of it. In another, what they did for drama was completely different. They just gave them the broad scope of what drama could do. Left it to each school, how you want to do it. I would suggest both approaches have their value. So policymakers give a roadmap. Now this, they have also very clearly told us, from the policymakers, I would want people to connect with schools and, start publishing case studies. It could be a simple thing, one little skill. Maybe some school has taken up the skill of reading and created magic. Put it somewhere. Let the social media take care of it and make it the social fuel of the world. That is very important because success stories will enable people. They'll take the same model and implement it. The first step of innovation is copy, then question. So probably that way, some part can go in. Funding, where will you get money from? The school managements, leaders have to start thinking now. Maybe we have to appoint more teachers. So skilling, reskilling, upskilling, all are needed. But where is the funding for it? Can school boards start thinking about, listen, how am I going to, how much amount of my fees or how much from my corpus will I direct towards my skill empowerment programs? What will I do? Please do not expect the government again to give some funding for it as well. Are we able to tap into the public-private partnerships? That's what I would say is a community focus. There are industries who have a CSR budget. And they're looking for people who are doing a good job. Earlier, they would put it only on buildings, right? Build a block of toilets or build a lab or build a library and do it. Go to them and ask them to help you with curriculum design. Let them give you some money, get experts who can work out your skills, competencies, map it out. But whom should you ask? Please ask those children what they want. Look at the local community. Somewhere it may be important that textile designing is the key. Somewhere else in a metro, suppose we live in the electronic city in Bangalore, I would say, okay, look at maybe, because that's where it is a Silicon Valley, as we call the hub of IT. So maybe AI makes sense there. But if you go into a small school at the outskirts of Bangalore, don't do again AI for them. Maybe there somewhere you need more in terms of adopting a lake. So, teach children that particular skill, how to look at becoming an entrepreneur, taking up the social cudgels and doing something else. So the question is, can we design? That's why I would say that design thinking in education, please go and check what the customer wants. Customer expectations have changed. The policy maker is a customer, the teacher is a customer, the principal is a customer, the student is a customer, the parent is a customer, the vendor is a customer, the book publishing company is a customer. All of them have certain strengths. What can they give? If you want to design these specific lovely books to enhance literacy and numeracy in your school, can you not ask the local printer to help you out? There it is a public-private partnership. I mean, it can start at the smallest level. You want scientific critical thinking? Maybe you get your YouTube channel or your Instagram, put it up where there is a curiosity corner filled with questions. That's what schools can do. A principle. Most important, what is the school culture? Is it going to be an open-minded culture? Is it willing to adapt to change? Are they going to accept that this disruption which has happened, whether COVID or technology, has its positives, maintain our own, internal compass, allowing us to be compassionate and think of the children, accept that we really don't know all the aspects of e-learning. If our children say, I don't understand, or if a child is telling you, listen, I really don't have the tablet or the telephone with this connectivity to listen to you all the time. Give that to the children. I was thinking, to me, again, I come back to what school leaders can do. Well, school leaders, I think, first and foremost, they connect with different industry experts. Simple. Go and talk to people and say, what can we do for the community of children? You have 1,500 children in your school. Doing a snap poll in a classroom, each teacher does it, you get inputs from them. What skills do you want to learn? You have a bag full of skills from children. It takes 5 minutes for each teacher to do it. Go and ask the children, somebody may say, give them roles within the school to do. I mean, but they will come back, even technology, come on. Whether it is starting a class, ending a class, managing the attendance, sharing the notes, right? Finding out websites which are more useful. All of this is a child's job. According to me, it is not a teacher's job. You can start empowering children with these skill sets, the digital skill sets. Oh, they are great with preparing apps. Ask them something is available. Learning platforms. Ask them what can be done. Instead of, ask them, okay, do you want to make a song on something? Let them do the recording. Start a podcast. I think kids are great. They are willing to do anything and everything. Somebody can write a book. Somebody can do a drama. Great. Let them go ahead. But there's also something that we have to remember. We have to train our teachers. We have to raise the bar for our teachers. The standards have to be enhanced. What was done earlier is definitely not going to be acceptable. Okay, term 1, I will finish 6 lessons. Not done. No longer. The 6 lessons are just your guidelines. Don't wait for the textbook to be changed. Change yourself. Keep the textbook as it is. Okay, I'm supposed to teach photosynthesis. Great. From the beginning, let children come up and tell you. First, go to the application concept. Ask these. That's why they say beautifully, ask the essential questions. And these essential questions come when you change your entire philosophy of teaching, right? You have McTighe telling you very clearly, listen, first ask why. Why and how are more important than the what. Please do that. Why do I need to study photosynthesis? Why? How is it helping me? How is it helping the society? How has it helped Earth? Ask these questions. These 4 questions can definitely set, or ask a question like, okay, why am I supposed to know about the local folk music? What is so important about it? And how do people do it? Go and see them, get things done. That's why I said, also give children freedom. That is the genius hour. Ask them to choose one topic of their liking and explore it as much as they want. Let them come back in the class and share with you what is there. Finally, what can the community do? The community should be ready for learning liberation. Are they willing to liberate themselves from these shackles of exam is now, this much syllabus has to be finished, this is the marks I want from my children. Please let it go. And let all of us in the community learn to live with complexity. Somebody was talking to me today and, kindergarten teacher, she said, they will open school even for the kindergarten. I said, great. They will open for 15 days and next 3 weeks, be ready for a lockdown. It can happen. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to remember, change is going to happen even without your thinking? If we can remember all of this, can we have something called as learning guilds where, experts are available? Make a whole set of experts available, a scientist, maybe a IT professional, a bureaucrat, a government official, an innovator, a discoverer, put them all together, a historian. Let them go to schools or let schools go to them turn by turn. I'm sure they will give that time. We never ever approach them, do we? We never go to them and say, I need help. Can you come and Be in my class. Don't be a guest speaker where you come with slides and, talk. Let a child come to you and ask you what he or she wants. If we can do that. I was also thinking, can we have learning centers in our schools? I mean, that's used in kindergarten where we set up a mock veterinary center or a kitchen. I was thinking real life. Let there be a radio broadcasting, station. Let there be a, let's say, computer discovery. Give them a computer. Let them completely dismantle it. Look at what it is and come up with whatever they want. I was reading, why I was thinking was one person in America took a racing car, and left it with children because he was doing a course on creativity and entrepreneurship and innovation. He said theory didn't work. So we started with sticks, then we took styrofoam, then we took other materials. But when they started doing it with a car, it was real. And they understood environmental concern. They understood about the lightweight metals. They understood about the technology aspects. They understood the physics, chemistry, biology, aesthetic, everything when they were putting it together. I think that is what the community has to do. Are we willing to, instead of accumulating e-waste, let's give them back a phone which doesn't work. Give it to people who can dismantle it, understand it, what can be done. That will teach them more coding than, doing it on sheets of paper. So I think community should be ready to volunteer. Community can lower or completely change their expectations of what learning and education is about. And most importantly, the human capital. Everybody has potential, but unfortunately, that potential, whatever they learn for 14 years, 16 years, ask them to go to the job market, they find them unemployable. Most of them, they say that even after 15 years, again, it's a proven fact, 15 years of education, learning, and you go back and find there is a 61% or a 64% or a 70% deficit when you go into a job market. Same with teachers, same with computer professionals. That is where you have this incubation period and training. Can we reduce that? I mean, let there be more simulations, let there be more practical interactions, internships, research. Okay, if that can happen in the community with the schools, I think skill development is not just a dream. In fact, one of the things which they said so beautifully, they said there's a pipeline. In America, they're talking about something called as, the children who drop out, most of them end up in the jail. So they call it as a pipeline to prison. I don't know. I really don't have that knowledge, whether it happens in India, but I'm sure it must be happening due to COVID. Even otherwise, children who drop out, what are they doing? Maybe they're helping their parents, or they will be if there is no food on the table, what do you expect a child to do? What do you expect the mother to do? What do you expect the father to do? Crime becomes so much of a reality. Let there be no pipelines to prison. Let there be pipelines to joy. Let there be pipelines to empowerment. Let there be pipelines to confidence, and probably a human being who loves, cares. As an Indian, let me care about what's happening in my neighboring country, in my state. So I would say I reverse the wheel, be local. Then let there be regional, let there be national, then let there be global. But I must make that journey. It can be either backwards or forwards. I really don't care. But skill should give me that confidence. If it can, life is beautiful. I think I've said enough. Thank you, Gulshan sir and Chanchla. I'll leave the floor to you now.
Chanchla ma'am, anything from your side?
Sir, I think we have
Wonderful, wonderful.
We went overboard.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Lots of valuable inputs and a lot of innovation, a lot of practical approach. And once again, finally, I'll come to only one crux, and which I understand. Education, what kind of an education, how much knowledge, how much wisdom, what all skills, what all competencies, everything is fine. At the end of the day, I'm looking forward to Rokla kahan hai? What do I get? And your question was very valid. Why do I study? What will I get out of it? And where will it take me? And what exactly is going to be the outcome of this? So I think those questions are very, very valid, and children, and very rightly said by both of you, and you packed it so nicely. Don't underestimate the potential of our kids. They are remarkable. They are very creative. They are very, very enthusiastic. And particularly, they are very fortunate. I wish I get back to the school in 6th class, put my knicker and put my shirt, and I go back to that coding which is coming through the new education policy 2020. And 10 days you have a bagless school and you go to the corporate sector, you enjoy the life, you pick up the best of it. Yes, all is wonderful. There's something very interesting. Before I conclude, I would like to share with both of you. New Education Policy 2020, we have done about 500 webinars on that, and making education relevant, making skills relevant, and making education relevant to my day-to-day living, my day-to-day life. What is going to be the role of technology, innovation, everything we have discussed. Atal Tinkering Lab, incubation centers, stimulation, simulation, everything we have talked about. I think because we are completing 1,150 webinars during this pandemic. And I think I'm the most humble student. I have learned so much. Now also, you both are, like my little sisters. I feel very happy that you both are sitting comfortably, but I'm standing for last 1.5 hours. And I'm doing this session while standing. And otherwise, this is a time with my age and with my kind of lifestyle, because I get up at about 3:40 in the morning, and so much I have to take on, but it's a beautiful learning. I would like to say that there was a group of teachers from the different countries. They got together, and I learned one thing very important, very nice. Before we thought about NEP 2020, education was teaching centric. When NEP 2020 has come, everybody has started thinking 50 hours packaging for principals, teachers, everybody, and education to become learning centric. We have to move ahead of that, because one of the study which has come last week into the public domain, that whatever India was to cover in next 10 years in the new education policy implementation, it has happened during this pandemic. That is the pace we have kept with the technology. Now, when you were referring to Industrial Revolution and part 4, I go for the World Economic Forum to Davos, and I understand that, having met the gentleman, everything nicely. So what is the third part of the entire series, what we discussed abroad? Education was teaching centric, industrial era influence. Then we are now New Education Policy 2020, when we talk about education becoming learning centric. You got to move one more stage ahead now. Neither it is teaching nor it is learning. Now it's a co-learning. That means the teacher also got to learn with students. You are just the facilitator. And there also I have got a big question mark. What kind of a facilitator? Because the technology is going to play such an important role. And there is one video you must see. It's called, tomorrow I'll refer to the correct name. I'll give it to you. It's basically a triangle between educators, corporate, and education ecosystem. And the triangle gives that now the technology has increased the pace and the space and the speed. And if we do not bring change in our education ecosystem, keeping pace with the demand and requirement of the industry, education is going to become obsolete within no time. The packaging, what we were giving earlier, but well, there is a lot to share. Tomorrow, I'll share a couple of slides with you and all the research with you when we move on the journey from here further. Ladies and gentlemen, tomorrow, we will be having a golden triangle. Another lady would also be joining us tomorrow. And 2nd of September, tomorrow, we will be having true value of education. And day after tomorrow, on 3rd September, you will have innovative education for equity. That's what I understand. But if you want to have interchange, it's all up to you. You can decide it accordingly, because this is Madam Chanchala's program. I'm just a facilitator and I'm a co-learner. I must appreciate and I must say, because she has done specialization with the Harvard certification for the school leaders recently. And Sunita ma'am has got such a vast experience and so much she was sharing. I was thinking my school days have come back, because when I look at my own life journey, coming from a government school, coming from an interior village school, scoring 35% marks, with the great difficulty getting commissioned into the Indian Army, last in the bottom merit, at least my name was not missing from the past students. And finally, the president of the service selection board told, बेटा तुम में हौसला बहुत है, तुमको अंग्रेजी सीखना पड़ेगा, क्योंकि तुम गांव से आए हो, तुमको अंग्रेजी नहीं आती है। मैं बोला सर आप मुझे एक चांस तो दीजिए ना, एक मौका तो दीजिए ना, मैं सब कुछ सीख लूंगा, मेरा मतलब मुझे एक बार आर्मी ऑफिसर बनने तो दीजिए ना। And I do not know, he had a pity on me or whatever it was. In the service selection board also, when I saw the list top coming to the bottom, I found the last name somewhere. My name was there that he is selected. And thereafter, 4 years rigorous training, I didn't take off even for one day. God forbid, I didn't fall sick even for one day. I attended all sessions, all program. And when I was passing out from Indian Military Academy, I got the best communicator award for 3 minutes extempore on a subject which is given to you there only, and you have to speak in English language. I want to tell all my young children, those are watching this program across the world, the day you decide you have to pick up something, you have to learn something, you don't require anything. The magic of thinking is so important. The magic of thinking. The audio book you must go through. Tomorrow I'll share the cover page also with you. The magic of powerful thinking, the magic of positive thinking. There's so many beautiful books you have to go through. So thereby make it a habit and you make a commitment to yourself. You have not to do it for anybody else. You have to do it for yourself. My deep gratitude and thanks to both the ladies. They have come for this particular program. They spared their most valuable time. I'm so grateful. I'm more humble now. And 2 things before we leave, ma'am. First thing, do tell me, you mentioned about one book, Learning the Treasures Within. By whom it is authored?
Lord, it's a UNICEF document. You will be able to get it.
Oh, that I have got. UNICEF document I've already read. I thought it is some other audiobook.
No,
Okay.
It's-
That is 13 minutes, 58 seconds. Yeah, I've gone through that. Okay, that's one. Secondly, Chanchala ma'am, some of the case study, are we going to take tomorrow from the Harvard?
Yes.
Because people are asking me on the WhatsApp in a private, where is
Yes,
the
yes.
Harvard case study? Is she going to do tomorrow? I said, yes,
Yes.
she's going to have. So
I'm going to have.
true value of education. A lot of parents would also be joining tomorrow. And day after tomorrow, innovative education for equity. Am I correct, Chancellor ma'am, or is there any interchange?
Anything would be fine. sir.
No. I'm very comfortable, ma'am. The way I think we made the creative accordingly, but if you want any interchange, we can do it. It's all up to
that's
you.
absolutely fine.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So ladies and gentlemen, making a global promise, green morning, green afternoon, and green evening, wherever you are world over. Vikas Malhotra ji and the entire team in Canada, Professor Vivek Shankar Natarajan, all the way in Texas, NASA, and Vimalji all the way in London. And of course, Dr. Shilpi ma'am all the way in Central Asia, and all our brothers and sisters, those are joining across. I'm so grateful to all of you. Thank you very much for sparing your most valuable time. And my deep regards, gratitudes, thanks, salutations, everything to both the ladies. It was a wonderful, wonderful session, and look forward to tomorrow's evening. What is the true value of education? And I think somewhere you will quote Sir Ken Robinson also and Dr. Sugata Mitra also, We will have it tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you very much. Namaskar.
Namaste.
बहुत बहुत no, namaskaran. I got to remember that. Namaskaran. And